All right, we're good.
Oh, disclaimer, everyone. I'm sick, so I may not be as uh, involved or here.
All right.
All right, so my example was, just an example of a third party. I just used what was from the book, really. Just how a third party beneficiary would be when someone decides to take over a mortgage for somebody in exchange for living in the home while they are paying the mortgage. The person taking over the mortgage is the third party beneficiary, whereas the bank is the creditor beneficiary because payment is still due to them.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know if that's right. That's what I got out of it. But.
That sounds right.
Sounds pretty good.
All right. I'll share mine next, I guess. Oh, I don't know if this is right or not, but this is what I put.
Okay.
I put James has a contract with Bill to sell Bill 30 head of cows. Ron is a third-party beneficiary who will sell hay to Bill to feed his cows. If the contract falls through, then Ron will only be able to try to receive reparations for damages caused by failure to fulfill the contract from Bill because that is who he is connected with. Whereas if Ron was the creditor, then he could be able to try to receive damages from both James and Bill if the contract falls through. That's what I put. I don't know if that really works for it or not. But what do you guys think?
I think it could.
I didn't understand it. Maybe
Okay.
I'm sick and not here.
I couldn't tell if that was what the third party beneficiary, creditor beneficiary really was. So
All right. So for mine, I have Susan contracts with a lawyer to provide legal services for her son John, who is being prosecuted for drug possession. Susan agrees to pay the lawyer a flat fee of $5,000. Susan tells John about this arrangement, so John chooses not to hire another attorney. On the day of John's court appearance, the lawyer doesn't show up and later calls Susan, saying that he will not be performing the legal services unless she pays him an additional $10,000. John sues the lawyer for the breach of their contract. So because this is an example of a third-party beneficiary, John has the right to sue on this contract despite not having originally been a party to the contract. This right arises where the third party, John, is the intended beneficiary of the contract. So I was kind of confused with this week's topic as well, so I don't know how good of an example that is, but that's what I had. So
I think I'm just not all here because I don't know. I'm just not fully getting these.
What was your example, Tavern?
So mine, I've got Albert owes George $3,000 for hay he bought from him last year. George's daughter and son-in-law are building a new house. Rather than having Albert pay George the $3,000, they have come into an agreement that Albert will do all of the framing on George's daughter's new house. George is the creditor beneficiary, and his daughter is the third-party beneficiary because she is not an actual party in the contract, but the benefit will go to her.
It's a good one.
that's a good one.
perfect. Who's do we want to use?
We use Taverners. I think that one was kind of the easiest to understand.
I would agree. That one was pretty simple.
So, let me... I'll just copy and paste it into the chat,
Okay.
Yeah.
then we can morph it however we want.
Okay, I got that.
So I guess what we could do, which would be really simple, I think, is we can use that example and just end it where they've come into an agreement that Albert will do all the framing on George's daughter's new house.
Mm-hmm.
From there, the question can directly be, in this example, who is the creditor beneficiary and who is the third-party beneficiary?
That'll be easy.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great question, and it's pretty simple.
And then the rest of it is basically the explanation that we'll have as to which one's the right answer.
Right. All right, so we'd have Albert owes George $3,000 for hay he bought from him last year, George's daughter, blah, blah, blah. And then you said the end part would be they come into agreement that Albert will do all of the framing on George's daughter's new house. And then we'll say who is the third-party beneficiary and who is the creditor beneficiary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Option A.
So we'll have to make it one where they can click on multiple name or ones, right? Like
Yeah.
choose all the following or click on all the following that are right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you write that? Which of the following?
In this situation, who is the creditor beneficiary and who is the third-party beneficiary? That's how I'd say it.
All right. So then, in like our answer, we can include so the daughter is the third-party beneficiary, and then George is it George? George be the
George is the creditor beneficiary.
George is the creditor.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so should we just write their name down and then maybe have like creditor after their name or beneficiary after their name?
That works for me.
Yeah, that'd work.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so here's what I have so far. All right, so I have all that, and then Who is the third-party beneficiary and who is the creditor beneficiary? Actually, I need to delete that. Okay, in this situation, who is the creditor beneficiary and who is the third-party beneficiary? Question mark. And then I have A, Albert as the creditor beneficiary. B, Albert as the third-party beneficiary. C, George's daughter as a third-party beneficiary. And George as the creditor beneficiary.
Alright. So in that case, then it'd have to be like you'd have to click 2 answers,
Yeah.
right?
Just click all that apply, pretty much.
Have they done
So
that
we
before in the quizzes?
What's that?
Well, I just noticed, like, because in the practice quizzes we do, they use the questions that we create, and I just can't remember. I mean, I didn't know if multiple choice is, if they've done that before, or if we're only supposed to have one.
That's we could put it where we just put put the names group together. So put like Albert and the daughter together, and then put creditor beneficiary after Albert, and then third party beneficiary after the daughter. And then as we go throughout our other answers, we can mix and match like the creditor beneficiary, or put Albert's name in it instead of George or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if that would work or not. What you guys think?
Yeah, just to make sure. Yeah.
Then that way we'll just have to they'll be able to pick one right answer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You all right? All right, so here's what I have. You can tell me what you guys think.
Ah, I was wondering when we would use that. That's clever.
Yeah, it's actually a really good idea to use it like that.
Okay.
Oh wait, I messed up on D. It needs to be third party.
Ah. Yeah. Hope I don't get you guys sick.
Sounds like it's a bad one.
Yeah, I went in hoping I had strep throat. One of
Really?
my doctors has it, but I don't have strep throat, and the doctor's like, crap. Well, if you had strep throat, that'd be a good thing. It's easy cure, but you don't, so we don't know what you have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can't give you nothing for it?
They gave me something, but he's like, hopefully this will help.
Here's the. It's not separating those. Hold on, let me do something.
Oh, well.
All right, so here's. Do those look right? The ones after the period?
I think so.
Yeah.
So wouldn't D would be the right answer, right?
Right.
So that thing, yeah.
Okay. That looks good to me.
Okay, and then I think in our explanation, because I think previously when we've done this, we kind of went through why each answer would be wrong. I think in this situation, all we have to do is explain why the last answer is correct, because it's pretty much, I know, I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Just with that the explanation doesn't need to be too crazy. And it's more or less just the end of the example I gave, I think. But I guess we could explain it a little more in saying that George is the creditor beneficiary because a debt is owed to him. Or you could even say, like it says in the book here, the creditor beneficiary is a person who is owed the performance of a contract.
He's owed the what of the contract?
The performance affected.
Performance?
Yeah. A creditor beneficiary is a person who is owed the performance of a contract. Like in here it says, if X owes Y $1,000, which X agrees to pay by having Z pay Y's driveway, Y is the creditor beneficiary, the person who was owed the money. It has them do something else.
Okay.
So George is the creditor beneficiary because the performance is owed to him. And his daughter is the third party beneficiary. And here in the book it says, and you could say, because she is a person for whose benefit a contract is made, but who is not an actual party to the contract. Can't get my ears to pop all the time. There's so much.
That's never any fun.
Nah. That's the nice thing, because I didn't have to work today, so I could have this meeting earlier.
It's always good.
Where do you work at?
I'm a plumber.
Plumber?
Yeah, 3 feet in Teutonia, Idaho.
Nice.
You do work in Jackson.
Yeah, we do a decent amount of work in Jackson.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's where I work in the summers.
Yeah, I was looking at your hat, Wilson, Wyoming.
Yep.
Yeah, for me though, I guess, because for us it's not like we really do house calls and like fixing stuff. We do some remodels, but mostly it's just houses that are being built.
Oh,
You
really?
put all the plumbing in?
Yeah, because we've got a crew of like 7 or 8 of us. It's not, so it's usually not just fixing someone's toilet or something. We don't get the crappy job.
That's good.
All right, so here's what I have. I'll just read it all. So Albert owes George $3,000 for hay he bought from last year. George's daughter and son-in-law are building a new house. Rather than having Albert pay George the $3,000, they come into an agreement that Albert will do all of the framing on George's daughter's new house. In this situation, who is the creditor beneficiary and who is the third-party beneficiary? Well, yeah, we know those. Explanation. The correct answer is D. George is the creditor because George is owed the performance of the contract. The third-party beneficiary is a person who benefits a contract if made, but who is not an actual party of the contract. Therefore, George is the creditor beneficiary, and George's daughter is the third-party beneficiary.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'll clean it up a little bit. But. All right, cool. I think that's everything, right?
I think so.
All right, so when you post this, I just hit end stop broadcast, and then I have to wait, I don't know, a couple minutes for it to load or something.
Seems like that's what's happened to me before. Then it'll show up in your
Isn't it in like your videos or something?
yeah, when you go to like communities page, and where you could put in a like a status,
Mm-hmm.
go to video, and it'll bring up there'll be a little bar or whatever at the top, and you go to your YouTube videos, and your most recent one, which should be this one, should show up.
Okay.
And
it just loads automatically, right?
You can find the web address to put in the document that you turn in.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
We'll
All right.
see you guys next week then.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.